I did not think we'd be talking about De'Aaron Fox again, Spurs fans, but here we are, and things are going to be interesting over the next week. What is up, San Antonio Spurs fans? Welcome to TSR Sports. Did not expect to do a video tonight, but this news broke, and I have been very under the weather the last 48 hours. But I was like, I gotta, suck it up and make a video, as there's a lot of talk about De'Aaron Fox wanting to be a San Antonio Spur. Will this trade happen? Talk about that in a few moments. Let's get into the article first from Pounding the Rock. The NBA trade deadline is in 9 days. I didn't realize it was that far, just right around the corner. And the hot stove is on fire. What? ESPN Sham set the basketball world ablaze when he reported that the Sacramento Kings are expected to open up talks to potentially trade De'Aaron Fox ahead of the February 6th trade deadline. It's believed that Fox and his team have a destination in mind. There he is right there, breaking news from Shams. Mark Stein reported, I really am out of it. Mark Stein reported the presumption around the league as Fox would be interested in playing alongside Victor Wembanyama for our San Antonio Spurs. According to multiple sources, if De'Aaron Fox leaves the Kings via trade, his preferred landing spot is the San Antonio Spurs. It could be an interesting couple of days in Sacramento and San Antonio for sure. Fox is set to become a free agent in the 2026. Don't take NyQuil and do videos, guys. 2026 offseason, meaning he's still under contract for this season and next. He's owed $37 million in the 25-26 season. He is 27 years old and right now is averaging about 25 points, 6 assists, and a steal on 47% shooting from the field and 32% from three. The team that trades for Fox will have his bird rights and could offer him a larger extension than any team that attempted to sign him in the summer of 26. Not the summer of 69 where I got my first real six string, the summer of 26. Giving a sense of urgency for teams to trade for him. If he is willing to sign a smaller contract in order to be with the Spurs, that's a big if. That could change how these talks transpire. And my apologies, I am really not feeling well, but I wanted to talk about this. As the beginning of the video, will this trade happen? I gotta say, Spurs fans, right now I'm kind of leaning 50-50, although the thing that kind of stands out for me is the Kings have been playing well. Are they ready to break things up and move on from Fox? I don't know. Only they know that, but I would think that you still kind of make a push with Fox, Sabonis, and DeRozan. I mean, you gave up so many assets to bring. Didn't they give up a lot to bring DeRozan in? That's how we got Harrison Barnes to that multi-team trade. It really depends on what the Kings are doing. As far as for us, I'll support the team whatever they do. My one concern is I don't want the Spurs to rush the rebuild. We've seen other teams do that. We've seen our own in-state competitor, the Dallas Mavericks, rush things a little bit when Luka first got there, and that didn't work with Kristaps Porzingis, yada, yada, yada. They've kind of set course correction and made the the NBA Finals last year. But don't rush the rebuild. And one other thing is, and I've talked about this when we talked about De'Aaron Fox before, he's not a great three-point shooter. He's not even a good three-point shooter. He is a career 33% three-point shooter, which would be below the league average. And that would bring another non-shooter onto our Spurs, joining the likes of Jeremy Sohan, Stefan Castle, etc., etc., etc. And I assume Fox is going to be in the starting lineup, and you have to think Sohan's going to be in the starting lineup. Is he not? If he's still on the team unless they trade him, then that's two non-three-point shooters in the starting lineup, and we saw what happened to Wemby last year when he's around non-three-point shooters. Defenses collapse on him and dare those guys to shoot the open shot. And I don't think Wemby's going to be enjoying getting double-teamed and triple-teamed every night if that was to happen. Then again, maybe Fox can do some other things on the court where it's not going to matter and he'll find other ways to score. I'll just say this, if the team truly wants this and think he can take us to the next level and then, one more player next year, and Wemby wants, of course, too, I'm sure they're going to talk to their star and say, hey, what do you think? It's not going to be his decision, but I'm sure they'd like input from him, then I'll support it no matter what happens. I do think it'll take, at minimum, to bring Fox over to the Spurs, 2 players to match salary, and I would think at least 2 first-rounders. In regards to the salary match, we got to match 37 this year. Looking at the Spurs roster, Devin's making 29, Kelvin's making 19, Harrison Barnes, which would be weird if he went back to the Kings, but I mentioned him, he's making 18. These are all roughly rounded up or down. Zach Collins is making 17, and CP3 is making 10. So a combination of Devin and CP3 would equal his contract. The combination of Kelvin and Barnes, or Zach would equal that. I can't imagine the Kings want Zach Collins. If they did take Zach's contract, then we'd really have to go heavier on the picks, I would think. A couple first-rounders, maybe 3 first-rounders, maybe some second-rounders thrown in some swaps, whatever it is. I think they would want a lot for De'Aaron Fox. And it just, deep down in my gut, it doesn't feel Spursy to give up a whole ton and bring a name in like this. This is not normally how the Spurs operate, bringing a big name in from another team. But maybe it happens. Maybe it won't. Whatever happens, again, I'll be supporting the Spurs. Oh, I do want to note, Fox does wear number 5. So would Castle give up his number if De'Aaron Fox actually comes to the Spurs? Would there be a new Area 51 if that's the case? And then what's that mean for Stephon Castle and his future with the team? He said before he was drafted, his goal was to be a starting point guard for whichever franchise drafted him. Fox would be the point guard then, so does that mean Steph's waiting for a few years in the wings, learning the ropes, coming off the bench, or does he start at the 2, even though he's not a good shooter at this moment? Does Vassell move to the 3 and say, what does our starting lineup look like with Fox? Barnes and CP3 are temporary players. Is next year the starting lineup Wemby, Sohan, Vassell, Castle, and Fox? That's a really small lineup. We already get crushed on the boards on a regular basis, giving up second chance opportunities, and that would not change with that lineup I just mentioned. I don't know. Drop a comment down below. Let me know if you think there's any chance this will happen, or is this just more of the usual nonsense we get every year where everybody's reporting all these trade rumors? And I know some of you don't like these type of videos, but as a Spurs channel, if I'm not covering this one, it's getting reported left and right, then I don't think I'm doing the Spurs community a proper service. You know what I mean? Understand what I mean? You dig it? You hear? I hear you. So let me know in the comments. Hit the TSR Sports channel. And my apologies if I stumbled my words. I'm really, really not feeling well. But I wanted to talk about this. And more importantly, wanted to get your opinions. I thank you. And as always, oh yeah, subscribe too if you're a Spurs fan because, we're awesome. Thank you. And always, go Spurs, go.